talking today to Nyasha Mutsekwa, who is the CEO of MeTVAfrica.com. Nyasha, tell me, what's the service you're offering here?
We're offering a TV on-demand service for viewers across the continent to be able to watch African film and video content at no charge. Basically, it's a stream. You get onto MeTVAfrica.com, you choose what you want to watch, and then you just go ahead and watch it.
Okay. Is this paid content or is it free content?
It's free content at the moment. We don't have any premium content, which will be coming in the next 6 to 12 months. But the idea is just to get Africans used to watching TV on their computers. A lot of people do it, but it's pirated. But we want them to actually start watching legally and enjoy the experience. And
you've made arrangements with the rights holders to stream the content that you have.
Yes. So all the content that's sitting on MeTVAfrica.com right now is whether paid for or in some revenue share with the content maker.
And how long has the service been offered?
It's been offered since December 2010. We went into alpha.
Right.
Then in about April of 2011, we got into beta and just started offering it all across the continent. I mean, we do stream to the UK and US, but we mainly focus on the continent audience.
So how do you promote the service?
It's been a trying time because we are bootstrapped, we're not funded. So, you know, the social media elements, Twitter, Facebook, we've been to a couple of conferences. But what we've been trying to do really is speak to the content makers and make the content makers realize that, you know, there is an offering out there for them. As I was mentioning earlier, the lack of airtime when it comes to linear channels is really an issue for content makers. So we're trying to give them another way to monetize their content.
And what sort of numbers are you getting in terms of people watching the content on the site?
We're currently at about 10,000 views every month, and you know, it's a small number for us. We're looking to grow that considerably into the hundreds to probably 1 million a month.
Yeah.
But what we've realized is that because we mainly have indie content, content that either has never been shown on TV, documentaries and pilots, people are experimenting, are coming to see, but they really want to start seeing the stuff that they've seen already. If you talk about South Africans, want to see generations. They want to see generations of 10 years ago. You know, guys in Zimbabwe want to watch Mukadota. You know, there's all sorts of content that has played on the linear channels that isn't playing anymore and isn't available. That
it's kind of archive material.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're looking to bring that on board. And at that stage, I think, you know, we will start increasing our hits.
And what's the business model for the site? How will it make money eventually?
Right now, it's advertising. Before you watch something, there's an ad that plays. There's an in-stream ad, and there's an ad at the end of the show. We found it very interesting because, you know, the first thing anyone wants to do is put a paid gateway to say, listen, you know, $1 at least or something. But we were of the opinion that because it's such a new service and you know everyone's used to YouTube, but YouTube's user-generated content, I think it would have taken some time for people to adopt and actually start getting an understanding of what this is, why they're watching it, and why it's free, and what they need to keep doing for it to stay free. So we kept it free, and also just you know, it's content that people haven't watched, and content makers just want their content watched more than anything.
How easy is it to watch streams? I must say I find watching YouTube down here in South Africa not easy.
Yeah. Look, we stream as good as YouTube. We have a CDN through Akame, and we're looking to bring to get a local CDN in the next 2 to 3 months, and that will actually improve the viewing. But what we've found is that more than anything, it's just keeping the user's attention for more than 15 minutes is hard.
Yes.
Even the most gripping movie that goes for 20 minutes that you could watch on your TV screen At 15 minutes, it starts tailing off, and that's what our analytics have been telling us. And because of that, we've actually started turning around to the content makers and say, listen, let's look at that as a 15-minute cap. Let's not worry about how many times it has to buffer, because if it's interesting, 15 minutes, even if it takes you 30 minutes to watch it, somebody's going to watch it. So we've kind of struck that balance at the moment.
But you're owned by iBurst, who is a WASP provider here in South Africa. What's the strategy for addressing the bandwidth shortfall? Because it seems to me the service is kind of halfway there. I mean, it's impressive you've got as far as you have, but it's kind of halfway there unless there's more bandwidth.
Well, that's when you start bringing the hard bits in. As a startup, you follow the easiest route. So go to the US, find a server, stream from there, all those kind of things. And now, as we're maturing in the game, we want to bring our server down here into the iBurst core. That'll allow, first off, the iBurst subscribers access to our content. Virtually, it'll be faster than YouTube now.
Yeah, much lower latency.
Yeah, much lower latency, and the peering network that goes around iBurst, so the other ISPs that are around iBurst will have the same experience. And then across the continent, because iBurst is in 5 other countries on the continent, we will see the same kind of experience for the user as well.
And out of those 10,000 views, are those mainly from South Africa, or?
Yeah, 60 to 80% are from South Africa, and we're trying to push that out.
So what's the next biggest country after that?
The next biggest country is Kenya, then followed by Nigeria. But I think I think Nigeria is going to be a hard market to crack if you don't have Nollywood content. We do have it in our content banks. We just don't have it in showing. Just for the fact that there are other players out there who have Nollywood content, that's what they specialize in. And what we're trying to do is bring out the other stuff, and really talk to the other continent, the other countries on the continent, and bring out that content. So you'll find
the local content.
Yes, the local content. So you'll find a lot of Zimbabwean stuff, a lot of South African stuff. We've got some East African stuff that's coming through, and then we've got little things from here and there, West Africa, from Senegal and stuff. But I guess our view is, you succeed where you start. Without the bank balance that one would like, you succeed where you start, and if you're succeeding in here in South Africa, then I'm sure we'll be able to grow into the rest of the continent.
What are the conversations like with the mainstream players? I mean, people like SABC, DSTV, ETV. What do they say when you approach them and say,
we want their content?
Yes.
It's very interesting. The last year, they found it very hard to talk to us, because I think it was initially the first the first people trying to approach them. They didn't have a structure for it, especially the SABC. But now, a year later, we're going back and we're saying, listen, we're still here and we're still serious. Could we talk? And they're getting back to us. The structures have been put in place, and they understand that the archive material is really something that they aren't necessarily making any revenue from, number one. Number two, because they're limited in their airtime, cannot accommodate. So they need to find other ways to monetize it. And I think they're starting to see that at a no risk, because obviously we pay them for the content, at a no risk way, they can see if this model works for them.
And out of all the content that you've been showing thus far, what are the 3 standout pieces of content in terms of success?
So last year we were able to strike a deal with Ghetto Rough, their record label that runs Josie, the hip hop group, and they did a reality show that traveled across the continent as they were recording a new album. So that was on SABC 1. So as it showed on SABC 1. On a Tuesday, the next day on MeTV Africa, it was showing as catch-up.
Yes, so effectively catch-up.
So that really worked for us, and that was a big plus. That and 2 animation series that are just off the wall. One is called Easy Coco, and another one's called Rocket in Flight. And it's
Who
weird.
are the producers for those?
These are small guys. These are, I mean, Rocket in Flight is produced by Half Loaf. There's like four. It's a team of 4 people. It's a digital agency that, you know, again, just is thinking, you know, let's try this out.
Yes.
And its main actor is a humanoid from the UK,
Right.
who's moved to South Africa to try and make it. And it's striking a chord because you know, I guess things like animation and comedy are starting to really develop as industries on the continent, and people aren't taking themselves as serious as, you know. So it doesn't really have to be a show about us, you know, for people to enjoy it. It just has to entertain.
So what is Izzy Coco?
Izzy Coco is a Zulu warrior who's basically is a superhero.
Right.
But in a more comical way.
So it's a bit like Mac Mendy in Kenya.
Yes. And that's actually just one guy, Mudu Comics. He owns a company called Mudu Comics, and that's just one guy. And he before we approached him, he had done a couple of series that he was trying to push into SABC, and they just weren't buying. You know, they're like, you know, because the format is small. I mean, it's that minute and a half. So it's your inserts. It's not, you know, a full
hard to fit in the
series.
schedule.
And so it's hard to understand how they're going to monetize it. But for us, it's easy. You know, every minute and a half thing that you get, you know, that's gold for us.
Nyasha, thanks for talking to me today.
Thanks.